Taurus, July is asking, what would life look like if you finally let go of your toxic patterns and fully embraced your gifts? It is time to connect inward and trust your higher self. Let's get right into it, Taurus. We are going to look at the general transits in the sky, and then I'll open up your chart and we'll kind of see how the story unfolds. Mercury starts off in your fourth house of your home and your family life. This is a time where you are going to be focused in on your family. You're going to be focused in on communicating with your family, maybe going deeper with your family. Mercury in Leo is expressive and fun and kind of, optimistic and creative. So you might be chatting with your family in a more like open way, a more playful and kind of fun way. Maybe you feel confident to express yourself fully at this time. You might also be having a lot of conversations with your mother, maybe thinking about your home life, thinking about your home, the land you live on, maybe buying or selling. But just be mindful because on the 18th, Mercury does go retrograde until August 11th. And we all know Mercury retrograde has the potential only to bring delays and miscommunications, maybe blips with technology. So something to be aware of, but that doesn't mean the energy must happen for you. You can be mindful that Mercury is in retrograde and avoid having really hard conversations with your family. You can be mindful that Mercury is in retrograde and maybe you and your mother aren't going to be on the best terms, right? You can be mindful that Mercury is in retrograde, which means it's not time to sign the contract for a new apartment or sign the contract for the new home or the new land or to buy the new land. So work with the energy in the sky. Remember, it's always a potential. You're not like victim to it. It's a potential and it's there for you to be aware of and to use accordingly. So at the end of the month, maybe some hiccups in communication with your family, something to be aware of. So what about love and money this month? Well, Venus starts off in Taurus in your first house, but then on the 4th of the month enters into Gemini into your second house. So we'll take it from there. And this is the energy of love and money, Venus in your second house of your self-worth, your natural gifts and talents, and your bank account, your own personal resources. This is a really powerful time to fuel your mind with love. I am worthy, I am deserving, period. Those are mantras that should always be in your mind, that you believe there is no requirements for worthiness or deserving energy in this reality. It just simply is, you are worthy. So get right with that. Fuel yourself with love, right? Because the more that you love yourself, the more you're going to enhance your skills, enhance your gifts and your talents. And the more you enhance your gifts and your talents and your skills, guess what? The more money flows to you. You put value out into the world, you put creativity out into the world, you receive money back. That is the flow of money. It is not you give time, you get money. You give value, you give creativity, you get money. So a really good money month for you. Really great time to fill yourself up with just tons of self-love and enhance your skill set as well. Taurus, have we met yet? If not, and you're new here, I'm Lindsay and I'm here to transform as many lives as possible by helping people understand who they are at a very energetic level. This usually involves some chakra work, some energy healing work, some astrology work to really understand their energetic blueprint, and some subconscious reprogramming. So if you're enjoying this, Taurus, hit the subscribe button and stick around. From a physical perspective this month, you are going to kind of be like gung-ho about like having fun, having the best time. You've got Mars transiting your 5th house, and this is really all about like physical and creative energy combined. So it's like sports, it's entertainment, it's kind of drama, theater, creativity, all combined in one. If you're an entrepreneur, it's a really good time for you to really like hit the gas pedal on your creative pursuits and your business. And it's also a time where you're going to be maybe a little bit more assertive when it comes to romance if you are out there and dating. And also it could be a time where you're a little bit more assertive around children, or you're taking steps to maybe expand your family in some way. We talked about Jupiter last month when Jupiter entered into Cancer for the first time in 12 years, so I'm not going to revisit that information, but if you'd like to revisit that information, there is a Jupiter in Cancer for all signs video linked in the description box below. Taurus, July is an interesting month because there's a lot of shifting outer planets in the sky, which means we are going to experience collective shifts as a whole, but we'll also experience this on a personal level as well. So we'll start on the 5th of the month where these shifts start to happen, and that's Neptune going retrograde. Now, Neptune direct is an energy of like kind of rose-colored glasses, like la la, head in the clouds, spirituality, mysticism, metaphysics, in all the right ways, in all the beautiful ways. And then when Neptune goes retrograde, it's kind of like you take the rose-colored glasses off and you're like, oh, this is what it's like. Everything's a little bit harsher, a little bit sharper maybe. And it's a time with this energy in your 12th house where you might really start to like ground into your spirituality. You're no longer like head in the clouds. You're like, I'm bringing my knowledge down to earth. I am really tapped into my higher self. I have opened the line of communication. It's strong, it's crisp, it's clear. It's that type of energy. It's a good time for you to go inward, do some meditation, self-reflection, have a spiritual practice. You should always have a spiritual practice, but maybe you're tweaking it and you're figuring out like what's really working for you from a spiritual perspective. It's also a time where you might want to kind of evaluate your faith. Have you been building up your self-trust? Have you been building the connection with your higher self? Are you really acting and moving forward on faith? Or is there still some lingering fear? You can kind of really look at that and figure that part out. And it's also a time to look at your own personal life dreams. Are you dreaming something? Do you have something in your heart because it's a program, because society says this is what you should do? Graduate high school, go to college, get the job, climb the ladder, go to school, find a husband, have the babies, get the house. Like, is it a society thing? Is it a family thing? Or is it your own thing in your own heart? These are things you should be asking yourself during this retrograde. And then right after that, on the 6th of the month, Uranus enters into Gemini for the first time in 84 years. Since 1941, and Uranus will stay in Gemini for the next 7 to 8 years. So this is a very slow transit for you. Let's break it down. Uranus in the highest vibration is the energy of innovation, invention, individuality for the collective, eccentricity, uniqueness, connection with like ETs and technology, AI. It's the energy of dismantling the things that no longer serve you, not only in your personal life, but for the collective. So dismantling of structures so that we can rebuild and we can help all of humanity. So we can rebuild in a way that's better suited for everybody, not just some. So with this energy happening in Gemini, it's very much like learning coded, education coded. It's like dismantling of education systems that aren't working, dismantling of the way we communicate perhaps that isn't working. I could see us like starting to really, on a more like mass scale, try to figure out like telepathy, to do more like remote viewing. It's like an energy of people realizing you actually are a quantum computer of sorts, and you can program yourself to the positive. You do actually program your reality. So it's very exciting already. And Taurus, for you, it's happening in your second house of your gifts and your talents and of your money. And so I could see over the next 8 years, you really building out your talents and you really building out your bank account because you're building out your talents, right? So for you, it might be that you are learning and studying in a new way or something new that advances society in some way. You put yourself on the path of service to others, which means you are healing your energetic system. You're viewing yourself as this beautiful light being, this quantum computer that can in fact program yourself into the highest vibration and then create a reality that's not just for the good of you, but for everybody. And in doing so, because you're putting so much value out into the universe, you are collecting the material security, like the material resources, the security and the money that you require in this lifetime. It's very powerful. So have fun with it, Taurus, and let me know in the comments below what you plan to do with this information. Then on the 10th of the month, there's a full moon happening in your 9th house. So once again, kind of hand in hand with all this kind of thought energy you've got going on, which is releasing an idea, a life philosophy, a belief that is really holding you back. The 9th house is all about expansion. The 9th house is about higher education, knowledge, from a university level, right? But also from like a spiritual, like internal, all-knowing, the transform, transcend, remember that I have at the beginning of my videos. It's that type of energy. And once you set the philosophy right for yourself, your life philosophy, not anybody else's, Taurus, yours, then you can really expand your life in beautiful ways. Moving on the 13th of the month, Saturn retrogrades now. And so now you have not only Neptune retrograde, but Saturn retrograde also in Aries, also in your 12th house. So if you weren't already working with Neptune retrograde, the rose-colored glasses off, setting up your spiritual practice, now is the time, right? Saturn wants you to be emotionally intelligent. Saturn wants you to be mature and responsible as it relates to your spiritual essence. Got to take charge of your energy, not just you, Taurus. Every single soul on this planet needs to take charge of their energy, but it's very important for you at this time with Saturn transiting retro in your 12th house. Once again, looking at, you might have been really marching forward in a spiritual practice, on some spiritual path, perhaps, and now is a time to like go back and kind of just take a step back. You don't have to stop. There's no halting that needs to be done, but it's more just about like, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of a step back and kind of like bird's eye view it, kind of like put it all on the table, so to speak, and like look at what you've been studying, what you've been learning, how you've been connecting spiritually, maybe how you've been holding yourself back from going further into your spirituality. Maybe you've been too much in the third eye and you need to ground yourself. There's a lot of ways this could play out. Maybe you haven't been practicing self-trust and faith. And maybe it's a plan to working on surrendering and kind of giving it to God, so to speak, let go, let God type energy. And it's really up to you and what you're currently doing in this lifetime. And if you're not doing anything from a spiritual perspective, now is absolutely the time to ask yourself why. Why are you not doing anything to manage your energy? I'm not talking religiously, I'm talking energetically speaking, because the entire universe is comprised of energy. Everything is energy as the common denominator. So wouldn't it be so beneficial for you, Taurus, to learn your energy? And if you want to do that, I do write astrology reports. You can get more information in the description box below. And if you really want to take it to the next level, I'm talking learn yourself fast, transform your life very quick, then join the Cosmic Collective. I'm helping so many women inside, not just like reach their goals, but like feel empowered and have the strong energetic foundation that's required to not just reach your goals, but then to sustain and continuously build and evolve your life. Finally, Taurus, on the 24th of the month, there is a new moon happening in your 4th house, once again of home and family life. Now, Mercury is retrograde and you've got this new moon here, so it's kind of a little bit sticky. You can still blast off new hopes and dreams and aspirations out to the universe as it relates to your home and your family life, as it relates to your mother, as it relates to land, working with the land, even herbs, restaurants, anything to do with nurturing and feeding people and things like that. But just be mindful because Mercury is retrograde, so really think it through before you send out your desires. All right, Taurus, let's get going and look at the chart. As a reminder, I have my notes here, I have you here, I have my computer here, so I'll be kind of bopping back and forth between all of them. And I am not a doom and gloom astrologer, so I'm not going to tell you anything negative in this reading. I'm going to tell you all of the best possibilities that you can tap into because you create your reality, Taurus, and the astrology is just an energetic potential in the sky for you to either use or kind of be mindful and aware of. So starting off, just as a quick reminder, we talked about this last month. Oops, let me get the chart. Actually, you can look down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I just circled the calendar for you. And I'm going to get us just set up to July 1st because I didn't do that. And when I mention the dates, you can look down there and I'll kind of show you as the planets move. All right. So starting off all month long in the background, you've got Jupiter in Cancer, sextile Mars in Virgo. Okay, so this is big, bold action. We talked about it last month. It's playing out this entire month as well, which is really exciting. And this is the energy of you taking action around your self-expression, around creating in a physical way the life that you really desire, around you being creative and entertaining and having fun. And it's going to expand your mindset. It might expand your experience with your community, with your neighborhood. It's a time where you might be deciding to really reprogram your subconscious mind, Taurus, into something way more positive. And because of that, you're just fully enjoying your life more and more. It's like you really taking charge of creating a very fulfilling and joyful and happy life. So enjoy that. It's going to involve you working on your communication style. It's going to be, you may be studying something or learning something new, expanding your mind. You might be traveling to some short trips, kind of weekend spa retreats, which sounds nice. And you could even be connecting more with like your siblings or your neighborhood community. So that's kind of playing out in the background all month. It's big, bold action, once again, around you creating your best life. And Taurus, remember, you're creating your reality for you, for nobody else but besides yourself. You can only control your mindset. You can only control your emotions. And you know that your thoughts and your speech and your emotions and your actions in alignment create your reality. That's the manifesting formula. So tap in and use it to your advantage. Now, on the first of the month until about the 10th, I'll show you what's happening here. You've got Venus conjunct Uranus in your first house of your I am presence. And if you watch the calendar down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see around the 4th, they're still conjunct. It's kind of the strongest day. On the 5th, Venus enters into Gemini. So they kind of technically break this conjunction because they're not in the same sign. Depends on who's reading and what kind of rules you follow around astrology. I'll use it loosely here. And they stay conjuncted till about the 10th. If you see, now we're on the 10th of the month, Venus is kind of starting to split away from Uranus, but Uranus has entered into Gemini. We talked about that in the general transits in the first half of the video. So with this conjunction, first it's starting off in your first house, and this is your independent path. And Venus conjunct Uranus, this is the energy of love in Uranus, a very expansive, free, and independent way. And so here in your first house, you are probably feeling more free to be yourself than you've ever been. You're finally like, you know what? Screw this. I don't care what anybody else thinks about me. I know I'm creating my reality. I'm the only one that lives in my reality, which means I'm the only one that can understand my perspective fully. So I'm done worrying about what everybody else is doing around me. I'm carving my own path. It's very expansive. It's like you can't be held down type energy. And it could be that you're also because Uranus in the highest vibration is dismantling what doesn't work for you any longer and helps you rebuild in a way that's more positive for you and the good of all. It could be that you're revamping something about your I am presence. Maybe you're changing up your appearance, your physical appearance. Maybe you're working on your energy and your aura. And so you're working on how you show up energetically when you enter a room so that others perceive you in a different way so you can continue to carve your own independent path. It's a very strong energy, Taurus, and it's very exciting. So use it to your advantage. And then around the 5th, 6th of the month, you can watch the calendar move here. You'll see that now this energy, this kind of same expansive, loving, freeing energy has moved into your second house now of your self-worth, your gifts and your talents, and your money. And now you've got this like Venus expansive money energy in your second house of money. So this is really good for you. It's a time where you might want to look at your income streams, what's working for you, what's not, what's bringing in money, what's not. Maybe it's time for you to finally go for it and build the business, build the side hustle, put yourself out there. It's time for you to decide you are worthy and deserving, period, because you are. There's nothing that happens after that sentence. I am worthy and deserving. That's the sentence. There's no because I look this way, because I act this way. No, you simply are. And so this is a really good time to tap into this really expansive and freeing energy. You might feel like yourself for the first time in a long time, and that's really beautiful. All right, on the 6th of July, that's perfect. I landed right there. On the 6th of July. Oh, I've got to go back to this Venus conjunct Uranus energy we just talked about. And now here it is trining Pluto up in your 10th house. So this like really expansive, loving, get right with yourself energy, that was so bad, in your second house of your money. Once again, you're looking perhaps at gifts and talents you can monetize. You're looking at your business income streams. You're looking at your money and how you manage money. And it's like something is changing in your career that's making you look at your money differently, or you're looking at your money differently. So you're making some changes in your career house. Maybe you're asking your boss for the raise or the promotion. It's a harmonious energy, right? So it's not negative. I wouldn't tell you anything negative anyway. I would always flip it to the positive. Maybe you're finally starting your business. Maybe you're finally putting yourself online. You have a gift and talent that you know that people are interested in. So you start sharing on social media. This is your social reputation house. And because you share enough and you're consistent with it, you get monetized. And now all of a sudden, and this is like the start of it all. And now all of a sudden you're monetizing your gifts, which means you're getting paid to exist. That's powerful energy, Taurus. So tap in, tap in. And that's playing out for you if you want to watch the chart, the calendar down at the bottom of the screen. It's playing out for you until about July 10th or so. Venus and Uranus kind of split apart. So tap into that. How exciting. I can't wait. And please let me know in the comments below, like what you plan to do with all this energy. Remember, you create your reality. The astrology is just the energy in the sky that you get to tap into and work with. So, be smart here and tap in and work with it. It's a good month, right? It's a really powerful month for this. So moving on. We have got from the 10th to the 18th. This is one of my favorite aspects in the sky of all time. Venus is the star of the show this month. Venus in your second house of money, the energy of love and money in your money house. Great news there. Sextiling Mercury in your fourth house. So I love a Venus sextile Mercury. The only thing that could get better is a trine, really, because Venus is the energy of love. Mercury is your thoughts and your speech. So you've got 3/4 of the manifesting formula already in your favor. The only thing you need to do is take the right action, right? Remember the manifesting formula: thoughts, speech, emotions, actions in alignment, so you can manifest whatever it is you desire. So here, your mind is on your family, perhaps, maybe on home, on a land, on real estate, and your bank account is saying, yeah, go for it. It's great. I mean, this could be like the start of a family business, even, right? You know, Venus, money energy, Mercury in the house of the home and the family. This could be that you start making money out of your home. Maybe you start working from home. You get to buy the house. You have the money to buy the house. You figure out a way to buy the house. It could be that you receive news about your family, and some way, somehow you like monetize that information. It could also be like some generational like healing around money here, right? This fourth house is also your mother. So maybe your mother is telling you something that helps you increase your bank account. Maybe your mother is even setting up some sort of inheritance for you, perhaps. It could play out in many ways. So you'll have to kind of just tap in. Now, if it's not money, remember Venus is the energy of love as well. And in this house of self-worth, maybe you're finally deciding that you are worthy. I am worthy of the family and the home and the lifestyle I desire. And that's very powerful, because the second that you declare something like that, I am worthy, period, the universe gets to work in your favor and starts working in the background energetically on bringing that whatever you feel worthy of to you, right? So if you're not in the business of a family business, if you're not in the business of your mom setting up a will, buying a house, selling a house, buying land, starting a work from home, whatever, it could be very energetic, and it could be all about you deciding you're worthy. And also Mercury in the fourth house releasing insecurities around this worthiness, and deciding you can have the family you want, the lifestyle you want, the home you want, the land you want to live on. It can be yours, because the universe is abundant for everybody, Taurus, right? You just have to go out and make your dreams come true. That's the only thing anybody has to do in this lifetime. Go out and make their own dreams come true. Without being mean or hurting anybody else in the process, just go make your dreams come true. And that's happening for you until about the 18th of the month. I didn't keep on the 18th. Mercury goes retrograde, and then that's kind of when they kind of the energy gets a little squirrely, for lack of a better word, I guess. Okay, so going back to the 10th of the month through the remainder of the month. So you see that last month I did like a week by week. This month is the energy is like very expansive, and it's kind of like longer transits. So I couldn't do a week by week. So sorry that I'm jumping a little bit around. I tried to chronologically order this as best I could, but kind of tricky. So back to the 10th of the month through the end of the month, you've got Venus in Gemini. Once again, Venus is the star of the show. Venus square Mars. Now we've got a square here, the first square of the month in Virgo in your fifth house. So if you were listening to any other astrologer, they're going to tell you something negative, probably, because squares are maybe a more negative aspect in the astrology, industry in astrology. And squares, in my mind, though, are simply catalysts. They are a trigger. They are tension inside of you to show you where you are meant to break free and evolve and expand. So here, this is like time for you to break out of a stuck rut around your bank account and you living your best life, around your self-worth, and around how you express yourself, around your love and self-worth for yourself, and your romance and the children you have or are planning to have. Okay, so yes, is it going to feel a little like annoying? Sure, but that annoyance is to get you to snap out of it, right? You've got to feel worthy, and you've got to showcase your gifts and talents if you want to have the best life ever. You've got to work on showcasing your gifts and talents to make money, so that you can go out and have fun, be creative, start the business, right? You've got to start the business, Mars in the fifth house,
If you want to build your bank account. I mean, there's many ways this could play out, Taurus. I think you get the point. It's going to feel like maybe an internal power struggle between you and you. And I will remind you all day long, just like I remind my students inside of the Cosmic Collective, all of the women that are learning their energy and transforming themselves, not just internally, but externally, changing their lives, building out their dreams. I will remind you the same as I remind them. Winners do not resist themselves. In other words, if you are a winner and you've decided you're a winner and you've decided you're extraordinary, you're not going to live an average, mediocre life, Taurus, you have got to never fight your internal self. You have got to just simply keep marching forward. No negative self-talk. No going back to the past and repeating the same sad story. It's not helping you. It's keeping you stuck in a reality you're not interested in living in, right? So don't resist yourself and use that square through the rest of the month, from the 10th to the end of the month. Use it to break free of a cycle. It's a money cycle, right? The second house and the fifth house are money houses around your self-worth and your self-expression. Break free. Break free from the rut that you might be stuck in. It's your time to do that, and you have the power to do it as well. Woo! We're moving and grooving in the sky. On the 24th, we're blasting all the way to the 24th. Now, we're going to talk about the new moon. I didn't talk about this in the general transit, so tap in here. We have got the new moon over here in Leo in your fourth house, manifesting as it relates to your home and your family life, manifesting as it relates to the land, the house that you live in, the land that you live on, as it relates to like nourishing people, nurturing people across the sky from Pluto. Okay, so this is time for you, the moon, your emotions. Let some emotion go, some past story, maybe even a past life energy go, so that you can build out and transform as it relates to either your career, your business, or the personal legacy and social reputation you're building out in the world. This is a push and pull between work-life balance. This is a push and pull perhaps between, if I'm an entrepreneur, can I still have a family and be an active part of my family, or is my business going to take up all this time? This is, can I release an insecurity so I start my business? This is, can I believe that I can have the family I want and also the career I want? It is release an emotion so you can transform your life and build out your personal legacy. Oh, these arrows, I like drawing them, but it's probably annoying after a while. Do you get annoyed? I don't know, but it helps me think and it helps me say what I want to say. Okay, so that's one day. That's one day only on the 24th with the new moon. But then I'm going to take it to the 25th and show you that the sun stays in this opposition with Pluto through the end of the month. From the 25th to the end of the month, I'll kind of show you in the chart. The sun's still kind of there in this opposition. I mean, loosely, right? But still there. So if the moon wasn't enough, if you didn't do it on the new moon, let go of some emotion that's holding you back from your dream career, your dream business, your dream personal legacy, your dream personal empire, your dream social reputation, what you're known for out in the world, then you have more of a chance because the sun's going to ask you to do the same thing. But now it's a confidence thing, right? The sun is the energy of confidence. It is how you shine brightest. And there is some sort of potential hang up for you around your family life, maybe something your mom told you and programmed into you when you were little. You're not good enough for this. You can't have this. Some weird insecurity, which is holding you back from your dream career, your dream business, your personal legacy. There's a confidence thing happening in your fourth house of home, family, your mother, how you grew up, where you live, maybe even a past life, maybe, as it relates to business, as it relates to you building out your dream career, whatever. So really work on it. Don't resist yourself. Sit with the energy. Ask yourself what it is that you are maybe watering yourself down, holding yourself back because you don't have the confidence. And Taurus, remember, confidence is an energy that can be cultivated, which means you can grow it. I used to be so insecure. I used to be so jealous. I used to never think I was enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, not whatever enough. And I was in a dark space in my mind for a long time. Outwardly, you wouldn't know it. Inwardly, I was struggling. And if I can break free from that, so can you. Okay, so can you. And if you need help, once again, join the Cosmic Collective. Details are in the description box below. All right, to end off the month, Taurus, one last thing we've got to discuss on the 31st, the very last day of good old July 2025. You're going to see down here, once again in your fourth house of home and family, a Mercury cazimi. When it appears that Mercury is going to enter into the heart of the sun, and this is a Mercury retrograde cazimi, and you might think, oh, great, my mind is already mumbo jumbo, and now I've got this amplified retrograde. But in fact, it does the opposite. It makes you so clear. All of a sudden on the 31st, you're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that sooner? It has something to do, once again, with maybe programming from your mother, something to do with your home and family life, maybe something around like a family tradition, something to do with where you live, how you live, the home you grew up in, building a family, anything to do with any of that. You're going to get some serious clarity. And we also had a Mercury retrograde cazimi on the 24th of March in Aries in your 12th house. So you might have received some, excuse me, Taurus, you might have received some spiritual download on March 24th. You might have received some aha moment like, oh my gosh, where did that come from? Maybe it was guiding you to something around your family, like, oh my gosh, this next download. So you might connect the dots if you journal or if you go back maybe on like your social media posts and kind of figure out your headspace March 24th. But just know they might be connected, but it's an aha moment, total clarity in the midst of this Mercury retrograde. All right, Taurus, that's what I have for you this month. Check out the description box below if you want to work with me in any capacity. I offer birth or astrology reports, 50 plus pages, all about you and your highest vibration. I look at money, your soul's purpose, all of your aspects, your planets, your placements, Chiron, Saturn, every little hang up you could possibly imagine if you have any, and how to transcend out. I'm offering also, or I host the Cosmic Collective. Once again, it's a membership group, a spiritual women, transformative space to spend your time and really stand in your greatest frequency. It's a perfect place to reinvent yourself as well. If you've been trying to live a different lifestyle, but you've got friends in your real life maybe dragging you down, and there's so much more in there. You can check it out. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share all the things. I'll see you back here next month.